Wilson, Human Resources, Cultural Consultant, and Leadership Vision Coach. January, I had the goal of talking about mission, vision, and values. And I've spoken mostly about mission and vision up to this point, and the importance of reviewing it and what the difference is between a mission and a vision. So if you didn't miss those, you can go back and take a look in my feed at the other 3 videos this month. But today I wanted to focus on values, and I'm going to share a little story about what happened to me when I worked for a company that did not share my values. So I knew, because I was in human resources and I'd already had coach training, that it was really important to me to have a values match with my company. So I was very honest about who I was, but they weren't quite as honest about who they were. Now, I don't think they did it on purpose. I think they really just weren't aware of who they were. So while we were in the interview, they talked about wanting to have people who worked for them that brought up different ideas. But once I got there, they would say things to me like, assimilate, Lisa. It took me longer than I like to admit, but I realized after leaving, and I'd been working there 3 years, that we really had a values mismatched. I'm the type of person who's always pushing forward and trying new things. And when I work in a company, I'm there to help make changes and move them forward. And that's not what they wanted, even though it's what they said in the interview. What they wanted was someone who was just going to follow suit. And that's really not who I am. In staying there for 3 years, I was in a constant battle. I was either arguing with my boss on a regular basis, or I was doing things based on their directions that did not meet my own values. And after 3 years of constantly in that battle, either being told you're wrong or doing things in a way that really is not good with you and goes against your own core values, it really, really rocked my confidence. And when I first stepped into this business, I completely left HR out. I was only doing life coaching. I wouldn't touch HR for a good 3 to 4 years because it had rocked my confidence so much that I just no longer felt that I was any good at doing this, even though I was getting calls from companies I'd previously worked with going, please don't leave HR. You're really good at this. Why would you not do that? But having worked for 3 years with a company where my values didn't match, it really, really changed how I felt about myself. So a couple of things. If you are a leader and you have an employee who really has a different set of values than what the company does, the best thing you can do for them is let them go and work for a company where their values are going to match. It's never going to come together when it's a core thing like a values mismatch, because it's really hard for us to be something that we're not. And it's really hard. The company isn't going to change for one person. So it's really important. Now, as a person, if you're looking for jobs or maybe places to volunteer, make sure you're really clear on what their values are and make sure that they match yours. Now, I'm not saying that you only work with people from the same religion as you or anything like that. That's not the same thing. People carry the same values no matter what their religion. So you can have someone who's Muslim with the same core values as someone who is Christian or Jewish and name any different religion. Our values are things that we hold dear to ourselves, and we show up in the way we behave. So it's not about having religious belief or things like that. These are the values that you hold at your core. There's lots of different ways to find this. Brené Brown has, I think, something on her site. If you just look it up, how do I know my values? There's a bunch of different things. Or feel free to get in contact with me. I can help you out with that as well. When I took coaching, it was one of the first things that we did was figure out what our core values were. So as always, feel free to create a 20-minute call with me. It will be in the comments. The link to do that will be in the comments, or it's in any of my bios. There's always a link in there to set up a 20-minute free call. It's no obligation. It's just to have a conversation. And Leading with Ease starts soon. If you haven't watched any of my videos, Leading with Ease is an 8-week course. I work with leaders to create a solid foundation for their teams. Once you have that solid foundation, it's much easier to make decisions and to get your team working with you. We go through 4 lessons and 4 coaching sessions. So from each lesson, you've learned you go and you practice, and then we come back and we coach on it. That's why it's 8-week long, but it's only an hour a week, so it doesn't take up too much of your time. You can come, it starts the week of February 14th, and you can come either Wednesdays at noon or Thursdays at 2 p.m. Those are both in Eastern Standard Time. Have a wonderful week. If you, like I said, if you have any questions, I will have the information in the chat. I will put that in right now. So you're welcome to connect with me in that way. Have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you again next week.